rather talk about one of my favorite events of the year, and it's RedBull Rampage. If you've never seen Rampage or heard about it, it is a free ride event held outside of Gooseberry Mesa, Utah, in Virgin, Utah. There's been a number of locations. I believe the event started in 2001 and has gone all the way now to 2024. Over those years, I think there's been 16 Red Bulls. I think this is the 16th one. But it's really special. And I think over the next few podcasts that I'll do next week and more of is talking about the history of Rampage. But the one really special thing about this Rampage that I want to talk about today is that this year, for the first time ever, the women are going to be sharing center stage for this event. Normally, the females have had their own event. It's called Formation, but they work just as hard as the guys, send themselves off of stuff just as hard as the guys, crash just like the guys, and it's going to be super exciting to see them be given center stage and full attention because they deserve it. They will have a different venue than the men. They will be given 3 diggers instead of 2, which I feel like for the first couple maybe years of that is cool until they get maybe some lines dialed in that they're reusing next year. I just think it's a little more fair for them to have an extra digger, not because they're girls, but because it's the first year for them, and just to make sure that everything goes to success would be great. Now the dudes have 2 diggers, but they've been doing it a lot longer, and I think there's the same amount, but there's a lot more factors. I think it's more fair to have them 2 days. It's hard to make it not sound like it's because they're girls, but the dudes have been riding the venues for a long time and kind of have been, whatever. I'm gonna probably have to cut all that out. I don't feel like an idiot at this point, but one of my favorite parts about this is one of my very good friends who I met, I don't know how long ago. It's been over 6 years. I met through a friend, Anthony, of mine. Her name is Chelsea Kimball. If you're on Instagram, you may know her as Chelsea Sends It. She's in Red Bull this year. She kind of got her start racing with us on the Wolfpack, and then it just ran with it. She moved to Virgin, Utah, and lived in Virgin for a long time, just building and riding until she got picked up by Specialized. She's a factory Specialized rider. A lot of cool other sponsors, just a really down-to-earth, committed to the sport, and committed to growing the community. Every time I see her, she's got a smile on her face. I really wish her the best of luck. She's got a lot of experience just being out there that the other girls don't have. I'll kind of just really quickly go through the list of female riders. I probably can't pronounce their names perfectly, but Camila Nuguara is from, looks like Argentina. And then we have Casey Brown. She's from Canada. She's pretty big. Chelsea Kimball, she's from the US. Her hometown is from Arizona, Mesa. And then we have Georgia Estelle. She's Canadian. We have Robin Gomes. She's from New Zealand. Via Verbeck. She's from Canada as well. Canada. And then Vero Sandler from the UK. And finally, Vinnie Armstrong from New Zealand. Pretty full roster there. Really, really cool. Excited to see what they can do, because it's just going to be if you've ever watched Formation, I mean, these girls are throwing themselves. They're trying to do backflips off of stuff. They're sending big gaps. It really puts a lot of male riders to shame, and I absolutely love that. Because sometimes dudes talk a lot of shit, and then you'll get out to Virgin Utah and you'll see it and you'll be like, whoa. Actually, me and a friend of mine, Sean, went and lived in Virgin Utah for about, I think I was there for 2 months, maybe a little more than that, living literally at the original RedBull site, or Rampage site. It was sick. We rode every day. Actually, Chelsea and her friend Ryan, who rides for Propane now, came out and gave us like the real deal tour so we would be able to progress safely. Because when I got there, I literally looked around and I wanted to make a t-shirt that said Virgin Utah. Yeah, I'm not hitting that. Because everything is so sheer and exposed. If you don't know where to start, it can get pretty daunting. And luckily they were kind enough to show us the ropes. And by the time I left there, I was hitting like 30-foot drops with no problem, just kind of walking up to the edge, looking over it, and just being able to send it. So it was a really cool experience. I'd love to go back. I'd actually like to go watch Chelsea in Rampage, but again, being that small YouTuber, the funds just aren't there to go. I was really trying to go with my friend Duncan, who has been twice to Rampage. Guy's a traveler. He's a rad dude. Hopefully I'll have him on the podcast next week at the US Open. But I think he might go to support Chelsea. Should be super rad. Can't wait to watch. So if you have a chance, you should watch. It's probably, again, the coolest free ride event ever. Basically, like I said before, they get a certain amount of diggers and sandbag per athlete. And then they basically go build a line within, we'll call it the zone. And they can link up with other riders and kind of, pull together their resources for a feature or just for, a transfer line. But they are building, these lines themselves, and they only have a week, I think a week to do it, maybe a little less. I think in the next one, I'll go more into like in-depth detail about the rules. Lastly, I kind of want to touch on how Rampage has progressed over the years that it's been around. When it originally started, there were guys like Chris and Lance Canefield. I am brain farting right now. Josh Bender, oh my gosh, sorry, that was one of the original dudes. Josh Bender, he made the event, and he kind of like was the godfather of that style riding. So they had this event, and it was basically about them hucking themselves off just incredible like cliffs and ravines with huge exposure on these bikes they would make themselves, with way more travel than the bikes they're using now. It's, if you look back in the history, the bikes are actually wild looking. Now it kind of then trended towards almost being more of a slope style event in the mid 2000s. People that were winning were just throwing kind of just their slope style tricks. Not to take anything away from that, but in my opinion, it kind of started to get more slope style than freeridey. And then this past year kind of was a big turnaround, and I think the judges put their foot down and was like, this is a freeride event. Just because you do a gnarly trick on maybe a safer feature doesn't mean you're going to win the event. And I think we saw that with Benvenuto's gap, his front flip over the canyon. It was awesome, but other riders that that didn't win as well, that their lines were much more free ride, more exposure. I mean, Brendog, for instance. I mean, him jumping on top of the battleship, they called it. I mean, that thing had like 2 feet to land on, and then exposure of death on both sides. And that happened for him. He had exposure through his whole run, and a couple other athletes did. Just dangerous stuff. Maybe didn't throw a front flip, but was kind of more free ridey than his, smooth jumps, and then using a man-made wooden lip to get that front flip off of. Super cool. I can't do it. Nor can I ride these lines like they can. Can I ride them? Yeah, probably, but not like they can. But I really enjoy that the judges have taken a step towards, this isn't about who throws the coolest trick. It's about who is the most exposed, who throws the most style. And style just doesn't mean tricks, I mean like how they're roosting corners, how the bike is flowing, is the trail smooth, are they just, all those things. So I'm kind of excited to see this year because they brought a few of those riders back, like Brendan Semenuk is in it this year, and while he is an amazing rider to watch, has done some ridiculous things, I see him more as a slope style rider than more of a free rider. So it'll be interesting to see what he can bring to the table, especially since he isn't riding a whole bunch anymore. He's more rally car racing and not making as much mountain bike content. He's kind of just like rolling his contract along, it feels like, which is cool. Everyone has, if he's making a shit ton of money, who's gonna say no? But yeah, we've got, this is gonna tell me how many days we've got. This is October 10th, so 21 days, 7 hours, 7 minutes, 40, 39, 38 seconds until Rampage. So you've got more than enough days to get your friends over to your house, plan a party, or go to your shop. It's free to watch on Red Bull TV. This isn't like the World Cup where you gotta have, a subscription to something to watch. So make sure you're getting on and you're watching it. Make sure you head over to my YouTube channel, the Shred Academy. I think it's just the Shred Academy, but the Shred Academy MTB you can look up. You'll find me. If you want to become a race sponsor, hit up my PayPal link. If you'd like to see certain things, let me know in comments. If you'd like me to talk about certain things, let me know. If you'd like to let me know that you hate what I'm doing, keep it to yourself. I don't care. There's plenty of people that love what I'm doing, and I'm doing it because I love doing it. So like I say on the channel, guys, until next time, ride hard, ride safe, be kind to everyone. We're all in this together. I'll see you guys in the next episode. See ya.